That new Kanye West-Donda, we about to get into it. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, comment, talk to me, I talk back. Let's get to it. What's up, everybody? And we are talking that Kanye West-Donda album. Never thought, well, I did think, but never thought we would actually be saying that with all the delays. I mean, let's get into it. We just gonna get into it. It released at 5 in the morning Sunday. I would say now, looking back or looking at this morning, it makes sense. Sunday morning service, he was known for his a lot of gospel and influence on this album, and so he drops it Sunday morning. Okay, like he can say the label did it or he didn't know or a whole bunch of things, but it does make sense when you think about it, dropping his album on Sunday night. When else was he gonna drop it? Drake announced that he was dropping next Thursday, Friday. He wasn't gonna drop it then. And then you have a whole bunch of other releases that may be coming towards the end of the year. So this was probably the best time for him to drop it, for him to have the week of headlines before Drake has his time. And so, you know, the album, just first off, before I even get into the album, a lot of people are talking about it's an hour and 44 minutes. That's a long time. But if you think about it, he has a couple skits on there. He has like 4 or 5 part 1 and part 2s with just extra people on the song. Like he has the song with Lox and Jay Electronica, but then he has one with just Jay Electronica and Larry Hoover. Like he has a few part 2s. He has Jail part 1, Jail part 2 with DaBaby. Why he did not put DaBaby on the Jay-Z song, I don't know. Why he didn't just do Okay Okay part 1 and just that, I don't know. We're going to get into that as far as like the part 1 and part 2s. But if you really take that into account, the songs that maybe didn't need to be part 2s, 4 or 5 of them, and then you're looking at a hour and 20 minute instead of maybe hour and 44 minute. And then if you think about it, look at Kanye West, look at his College Dropout, look at Late Registration, look at, I believe, Life of Pablo, and I want to say maybe Watch the Throne, possibly not 808s, and I'm forgetting the album, it's not coming to me right now. But if you look at Kanye, I think he had 4 or 5 albums that at least has 20 songs, that at least has over an hour and 15 minutes. So this is not uncharted territory for Kanye. I think just in the life, in the times that we're in, everybody's dropping, you know, 2 minute, but that, yeah, you know, maybe 10 songs, 9 songs, 35 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, no longer than 45 minutes. That's what you're seeing, right? 10 to 12, 13 songs, you know, 30 to 45 minutes at most. So he comes an hour over that. It's a lot to digest. And I try to treat this listen, and most of my listens, like a movie reviewer. You listen to one movie, you watch one movie, and then after you watch that movie, you do your review, right? And so that's what I'm trying to do right now. We're gonna get into it. Very gospel-like album. Is the album trash? That's what a lot of people are saying. The album is trash. Like the circles I'm in, people say the album's trash. Then I'm also seeing online, the album is 10 out of 10 and it's amazing and it's the best thing this year. It's not that, and it's not trash. I think for one, sorry for that. For one, I think the 27 songs is overkill. I do think that it's not a lot for me. I don't have a short attention span. If it's great music, fine. But I think if he would have trimmed this album, maybe say 13 songs, I think he's looking at a really, really, really good album. Not great, but really, really, really good. But I think he, you know, hey, he went in, he did the features. This, you know, Jay, Little Baby, Lox, Jay Electronica, Griselda, Ariana Grande, Little Baby, DURK, Yachty, Baby KEEM, The Weeknd, Kid CUDY. I mean, every song is somebody. But again, I think people need to remember College Dropout. Go look at how many features he had on that album. Late Registration. Go back and look how many features he had on that album. Graduation, he didn't have that many. Go back and look at A Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy and see how many features he has on the album. His albums have always been feature heavy on the production side and the rap side. So I'm not surprised that every song's a feature and we haven't heard from him in 2 years. I mean, the man's been having everybody fly to Wyoming, everybody. And so it was no surprise to see everybody who was flying to Wyoming on the album. So that's not no surprise to me. But, you know, I think all in all, songs like, I'm gonna just get to the good. Jail, God Breathed on Me, Jonah, Hurricane, Praise God, Junior, I think. Okay, Moon, Remote Control, Keep My Spirit Alive. Those songs right there are probably my best songs. You know, the Lauryn Hill sample, Flip That. That's probably my favorite song on the album. Yeah, so that's the good, right? Now trim all that other stuff off. When we get into the good, those songs are great. I think those songs are really good songs. There's a lot of Late Registration hints on there, in my opinion. This is not the first album where he talks about God a lot. Like, this is not something he's even back then, College Dropout, Late Registration, this is not uncharted territory for Ye. I think the whole album is like that. What confuses me is when he edits the cursing out of the rappers. It's like, but they cursed, right? Like, he edits it fine, but this is not secular music. So that part is confusing. You know, but yeah, the good, there's a lot of good. There is some good. It's some Late Registrations, some 808s and Heartbreak, you know, influences in there. I think the producers who he worked with on there really gave him, on those good songs, really gave him a good foundation. I think he just did it with the overkill. I think that some of the messages were the same on every single song, which could be good and bad, but some of the songs sounded the same. That's what I'm saying. He trimmed that fat on the album. That's why maybe in the 90s, you've seen people doing 22, 23 album songs, and you have a lot of filler. These days, the great albums don't have filler. And I think this album has a lot of filler. I think he could have just did the 13 songs and maybe did a B-side or whatever he wanted to do. He can do whatever he wants to do, but I think to make this album really what he wanted it, trimming that. This is not a movie. This is not hour and 45, 2 hours. Music should be consumed in maybe one sitting. Sit down and enjoy it. And an hour and 50 minutes of music from one artist, unless it's like some best of, is a little bit much, especially when there's filler. And it doesn't need to be filler. I think the messages are positive. Little Baby shines on this album. Baby KEEM has a dope verse on this album. The Locks off their Dipset had a highlight. Griselda and Kanye, who would ever thought? But again, they flew to Wyoming. Benny wasn't on there. But again, this is not surprising when you see you see what you're seeing, right? You see you see all these people out there. So the features, they shine. Fever Foreign actually surprised me. Lil Durk shined on there. And I like the mesh of the different MCs. Moon sounded like vintage Kid CUDY. There was some points in this album where Kanye sounded like the old Kanye. And then there's points where he sounds like Yeezus Kanye and Ye. And I'm not even a big fan of Life of Pablo. Like, that's not the Ye I want. I think the 808s and Heartbreaks, the Late Registration, that Ye is probably his best at his peak. Late Registration, Graduation. And he's never been the best rhymer. He has people write for him, but he puts projects together and puts guests and the beats and everything he does it has always, from the beginning, has always been great. I think he had it, and I don't know if it was him trying to perfect the album, if when he was adding artists to the album that maybe didn't need to be on there, and he was trying to just do too much. He's been out for a long time. He's been through a lot, and I think he just should have just trimmed the album. I just think if the album should have been a filet mignon, no fat at all, no fat in a filet, right? We don't need a ribeye from I know you've been gone for 2 years, but we need the ribeye. You had stuff on here to make it good, I believe. What kills it for some that may be saying it's trash is just the overkill of the message, the overkill of some of the songs sounding the same. And I think, but it's good to hear Ye. Some people, I think people pick and choose. I think I'm not separating the man from what he's done in his personal life, but when I really think about it, what has he done in his personal life? He hasn't beat anybody up. There's a lot of things he hasn't done that other people have, that other people praise. But I think in his whole political realm, he was doing too much. He was getting out there riding with Trump, and it bit him in the ass, and he was saying crazy things about Harriet Tubman and a whole bunch of other free thinkers, just crazy shit he was saying. People couldn't rock with him. But there's a lot of artists, and I won't name any, but there's a lot of artists who do and have done things that if they drop an album today, people go crazy, and they don't do anything pieces about it. They love them. And I think Ye's behind the 8 ball because he's done so much and said so much in the whole last 5 years of the whole Donald Trump term that people associate him with. That is kind of, it just, people ain't fucking with him. And I think, he has some work to do to gain the trust back, I guess, in the hip hop community, in the black community. But me just listening to it with trying to be unbiased as possible. And when I put it on, I didn't like none of it. I haven't liked an album from him since Beautiful, Dark, Twisted Fantasy. Like, that's being honest. I haven't liked an album. And I'm not a fan of this album. I'm a fan of certain songs. I think all in all, if we was talking about the source, this album would probably be 3.5 mics. I think this will be a 3.5 mic album. Cut the filler, man. And maybe you get 4 mics, 4 1/4. I know they don't have 4 1/4, but 4 1/4. But I think, I'm not gonna be overly critical because I don't feel it's necessary. I don't think, like I said, I don't think it's trash, and I don't think it's the best thing since sliced bread. And I think it's in the middle, and I think it's a cool album. No, it's not gonna make my top 10. There are a couple songs that I like, but I probably won't be playing this, at the end of the year. But I think it's good for the time. I think it was good for hip hop when he's doing music, but not the buffoonery and crazy stuff he's been doing with the whole Drake thing and bringing Marilyn Manson out, and just it's been, it's all the other stuff with Ye that people just hate. Just even the dropping the album and then saying that it was universal. I think a lot of people just don't like that type of stuff, and it hurts the music. It hurts how they look at the music. And so everything that comes with Kanye, you get a whole bunch of stuff when you just want to listen to music. And I think that's how I would sum up the album. Just like his personal life, whole bunch of stuff on the outside that you really don't want with an artist. And that's what the album is. There's good points, there's highs, and there's a lot of lows, some ahs. And I think, he's human, and maybe this is him just maybe getting his feet wet, getting back into music, getting back to working with people, not putting himself away. But again, I don't think it's trash because, like I said, those other albums to me were trash. I couldn't even listen to one song. I don't think that this is that, but there's a lot of inconsistency in the album. It's a average album. That's what 3.5 mics was, if I remember back in the day. Or I might be wrong, but 3 to 3.5 mics is what this album is. But it's not trash. There's about 10 good songs on here. If he cuts half, some of the songs that didn't even need to be on there, the conversation is different. So, and then again, I think if Ye doesn't come with what comes with Ye, the last 4 years, I think that has a lot to do with people saying it's trash. I honestly do. I think if he was different and he wasn't doing and saying these crazy things, a lot more people would be liking this project. So that's just my 2 cents. Anyways, please like, subscribe, comment, talk to me, I talk back. Till next time, you guys take care. Peace and love. 100. Be safe.